Welcome everyone, it is John the Net Guy, and welcome to Tech Day Live number 7. This is a great show. It is Tuesday, our normal home time, unlike Friday, which, by the way, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't see it, let me show you that logo. That's what we built on Friday. It was an awesome gaming machine. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with me as much as I did. I've got a lot of great products to show you guys today. I'm just taking a look quickly at the Amazon because I want to make sure I get the people in Amazon a welcome to the show. And I need to make sure that all my other platforms are doing well. That's the first thing we do at the show. And I ask you guys to tell me how my mic is. So if you're first in the door, you get to do that. Hey, everyone. We're going to double check and make sure that all the platforms kicked off properly, because I did notice one thing. Here we go on YouTube. I just want to make sure that YouTube is working. YouTube looks like they're working. Okay. Now I'm going to call it good. We're going to get going. If you are joining in the chat, let me know. Just, type in there, say, hey, John, I see ya. I've got a wicked show for you today. I've got so many cool products that are just mind-blowing values. That's what I like to do. I like to bring you guys cool tech, stuff that I would use, stuff that I've even bought, like this Creality 3D printer. Now, I've actually got two 3D printers in here. I've got one behind me, a bigger one, an Ender V237 Neo plus minus ampersand. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The naming on these is very confusing, but this printer is a great starter budget printer that we're going to try out. Hey, I see a Jonathan Talks Hardware. He's already he was hitting me up on the socials on the side going, hey, what's this time zone thing? What's going on here? Because YouTube had a little weird time zone glitch. Great to see you here. Awesome. And Caesar, thank you for showing up. Caesar's hitting us up on the YouTube side. You can hit us up on Amazon, YouTube, any of the services that you're watching us on. All I ask is that if you do me one quick favor, visit me on Amazon down here, amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. You'll see a page that looks something similar to this, like me right there. And then you'll be able to follow the deals. Hit follow just so I can bring my follower count up. If I get to 2,000 followers, they have to put me on an A-list. And I get to do the Saturday shows, and it's really cool. So it's one of my goals this year. If you guys could help me out in getting to that goal, that would be awesome. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this 3D printer, and then I'm going to roll some B-roll for it. If you're looking to get into 3D printing, the two most cost-effective 3D printers out there are a resin printer, which I have in the other room, and a FDM printer, something that does layers at a time. So these layers are just slightly bigger than a human hair, and it's going to put down these, 10 micron or 1 micron layers or whatever they are. Right? They're going to put these layers down, and you are going to basically build an object, whatever you want to build. Now, these are just different models that I've printed out on it. You're going to build these a layer at a time. So you're going to need a product called a slicer, and it's going to take your model and it's going to cut it into slices. And it is just a hole that you can spend so much time in, but it is very rewarding. For example, I need to print myself a couple parts for my boat. I need something like this. I need one of these cable glands I showed you the other day on the show, but I need it to be really small because I'm going to run some USB cables through and I want something to seal it up. So I'm going to take my design software and I'm going to make a model of something, and I'm going to tell the printer to print it out, and I'm going to make myself something that I need, and it's pretty simple. I want to show you real quick how we do that kind of stuff here. So there is my side camera. Hopefully it'll work with me today. The 3D printer has basically 3 axes here. So it goes forward and back on this one, side to side here, as well as up and down on this axis. And this extruder is going to lay down that filament in very, very fine details. Now, like I said, there's 2 different kinds of 3D printers for people starting out. There's this style, and then there's a resin printer. Now, resin printers are cool. They basically take a very thin picture with UV light, and that causes that layer to fuse, and then they move it up and they move it down, and they take another picture through a little window, and they do that again and again, and after a very long time they create a 3D print as well. The problem with resin is it really smells. Even the water based stuff is very noxious smelling. I thought I was somebody that could handle fumes. That was one problem. That's why it's in the other room. And for a new beginner, that resin gets on everything and it can be an irritant. And so for younger people, I don't recommend it. This is actually my nephew's 3D printer. We had a little family reunion a couple weeks ago I told you about, and I literally bought this 3D printer for him. Super excited. We did a bunch of cool prints like these on there. We even printed one of these. This is a calibration cube. I just want to show you what that looks like. So it's going to have all the axes labeled on it. And that's the goal of it, is to help you know if your printer is printing correctly. So I've tagged this thing in Amazon right now. If you're just checking in, this is John the Net Guy. We're doing a show today with a bunch of cool tech. I'm going to put my little URL at the bottom just for you guys on all the other services. Amazon's going to have a cool carousel, and they're already going to have this there. Speaking of that, I do need to bring up the Amazon page just so I can show you some bigger pictures of this. And I'm going to show you how quick this is to unbox and set up, because I've got a little tiny B-roll montage that I can roll for you, and it's going to very quickly show you how easy this is to set up. Now, I've done this a couple times, so I was able to set this thing up in under 10 minutes. Now, it might take you 15, maybe 20 if you really take your time and watch a few videos, but this is one of the easiest 3D printers to get going with. So I'm going to visit the same shop URL that you're looking at down below. I'm going to share it for you real quick here. Okay, and so you see me picture in a picture in a picture. It's always the fun part about it. But if you go down here and you look at Tech Day number 7, I've got an idea list published. This is all of the products we're going to take a look at today. And you can go into here and you can see that this printer is $179 right now, plus an additional 5% off. So it works out to about $9. So it's about a $170 3D printer, which is a great deal. This is a great name in 3D printing. Creality makes some really, really solid stuff. So that's what we're going to take a look at. What can you make with this? Just about anything. Again, the sky is really the limit of what you can model. You're going to have to do supports and learn all this other great, cool stuff. But that's half the process, is learning on these things. Now, I want to show you how easy this thing is to set up. So let me go ahead here, and I'm going to roll some video footage that I took earlier. And let's see here. Okay, well, that one thinks I am not on that same screen. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to have to refresh this. And while I get this computer to behave nicely and I get my Restream loaded up again, so I'm going to show you the unboxing and setup process. Like I said, it's about 10 minutes or less. So I'm going to go ahead here and hit plus. I'm going to go to the video storage, and there's the videos that I want to. And we are looking for the Ender Unbox. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. I'm going to start this rolling. There is going to be no sound on it, so I'm just going to kind of narrate for you here. So again, this is what I was doing to unbox it just a little bit ago and set it up for you. This, I believe, is at 8x speed, but it's only going to be about a minute, and this is from start to finish, which is pretty cool. And if I scratch my nose or do something untoward, it's just what happens. So the cool thing is you set this top axis up. That's the only thing you really have to attach. The rest of it's all connected. You attach a couple wires, we add a little bit of filament, and you're good to go. So there's 2 screws that go in right there. The instructions are super simple to follow. So again, this one I would recommend for ages probably 8 and up with adult supervision. You could do, 13 and up without. The only thing, 2 things to think about is, 1, you can get yourself burned on the hot end, they call it. That's the extruder there. And the second thing is you can get yourself pinched by some of these motors and wheels that are going back and forth. They can pinch you. So you just got to be careful. Use your wits about you. And here I'm attaching the last few little cables, and then I'm going to dial it in. One thing that you have to remember about 3D printing is that you have to get the bed leveled as much as possible. Now, they make nicer ones. I shouldn't say nicer. They make more advanced ones that can do automatic bed leveling. So you see here, I'm telling it to zero itself out. So it's going to zero itself out. I'm going to use a sheet of paper, and that sheet of paper is going to help me set the height of the bed. So as long as the print plate here is actually the right height, everything's going to work really, really well. So that's, again, where I'm just doing some bed leveling checks here, making sure everything's level in all 4 corners. And then I can start my first print. And so that was the unboxing here, as you see. Pretty quick. Not that hard to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add some filament here, and I'll show you how to do that. That's going to be in the longer edition of the video. Don't necessarily need to show you that just now, but I am going to show you a product that you're going to want to have to go with this. So if you purchase this, you're going to need the consumable. This is PLA, and in the chat, you guys can let me know what it is. But I think it's polylactic acid or something like that. Basically, it is a plastic. It is biodegradable, if I remember right. I think it's the same stuff that they make the recyclable plastic bottles out of. And so this can be printed out. Now you can get other materials. You can get ABS plastic, which is a lot stronger, and different ones. Now I printed this out earlier. Let me see if I can get on the top camera and show you this. So there is the little printout I did. And I'm going to focus it in. Here we go. Now what's cool, and one of the nice things about this, you can see the little kitty there that I printed earlier. What's cool about this one compared to the others is this print bed is removable. I don't know if you saw that, but very easily removable print bed, and that's great because adhesion is one of the hardest things to get right in 3D printing. So we can go ahead and take that off. We can bend it just a little bit and our model pops right off. Now people were doing hairspray. I've been guilty of that. They're doing a bunch of crazy stuff to make their models come off easily, tape, all these other things, and you look at that and the bottom raft comes off, and that is almost a perfect cube. There's very few striations or lines, if any. You'd have to get really, really close to look at that. The other interesting thing is I actually paused this print and moved it back over here, which is what we're going to do here in just a little bit. We're going to print something else out while we're doing the show today, just to show you that this is real and it's working. But yeah, that's one of the things that this one can do that a lot of other ones had challenges with, is you can pause a print. Let's say you see you're running low on filament. You can pause it, you can add some new filament, and it can start over from scratch, which is pretty slick. So that's another capability. Just looking to see if we have any questions in here. We're taking a look right now at the Ender 2 Pro 3D printer, one of my favorite budget 3D printers, and one that I purchased. This is actually my nephew's, as I mentioned earlier. Now we're running a little bit low on filament here. So what you're going to notice, see if this camera's a little better for this. Yeah, for this demonstration. So we're going to run out of filament here if I try to print too much more. So I want to print something, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the menus on here, and I'm going to say temperature. Now I'm basically showing you guys how you can change filament, because we're going to change filament out with an additional product which is coming up next on the show. So set it to 207. Anything around 200 or over is usually good. And then I'm going to pull up the next product that we're going to unbox while we're doing that. And that is going to be this Ender 3D printing filament. This is PLA, so that's the stuff that goes with this printer. Now they give you a small sample amount. It's not enough. You know, we printed a few items and we're going to run out. So this, I'm going to see if I can get all the specs off the side of it here for you. It's going to allow you to print a ton. And a lot of your slicer software, most models are hollow anyway when you print them, so you don't need that much is what you think. Looks like this is 1 kilogram, about 2.2 pounds. There's different colors that it comes in. This one is going to be pure white, which is kind of cool. And I like to have some base colors like black and white, at least, maybe a gray. Now, PLA does have a tendency to suck in moisture. So if you're going to be doing a lot of 3D printing, you can buy expensive cases to hold all your stuff. But just what I would remember is keep that desilicate packet in there. And we're going to use that again when we box this back up. So while it's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and unbox this. I'm going to open up that plastic. Now you can hear that air rush. And I'm going to take that packet. Now, changing the filament out isn't that hard to do. You can do it pretty easily. What I like to do is to find the end of the filament here. Where did they put this one? Right over here. So they've got it notched through the side to make it easier for you. There we go. And throw the extra away. Now, as you can see, it's almost the same exact color as this one. This one's more of a cream, and like I said, this one is a bright white. I was looking to see if I was smart and left the cutters. Here they are. So with this Creality 3D printer, you're going to get a bag of accessories right here. So this bag of accessories is going to have a pair of side cutters. And these are really good if you're doing electronics or even anything else. But what I like to do is I like to cut the end at an angle. So So here we go. So I'm going to cut the end as sharp of an angle as I can get. That's going to make it easier to feed this when it comes feeding time. So you can see how sharp that is. So it's ready to go in. Now, I know that the filament is hot enough, and I'll show you a trick on how to do that. Let me see if I can do this from the side angle here. You may or may not be able to see this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the filament through. And there you go. It's coming out like spaghetti right down there. If you look down there, we're getting a little bit of filament through. What I like to do is put a little bit of pressure, maybe half a centimeter, and then pull back. And just pull back smooth and quickly. So a little bit in to help it feed, and then pull back. Now what you're looking for is an end that looks almost perfectly like that, actually. So there you go. Nice sharp end here. Not too much wisp. And that means that it came out of that extruder pretty easily. Now I can pull the excess piece here. And I'm going to do the same thing now, but I'm going to load it up, and I'm going to show you what it looks like from the top down while we're loading here. Okay. So there's the two little extruding wheels. What I like to do is, and I'm going to grab the new one because I almost loaded the old one. That would be bad. I got to find our end, and I don't want to loop myself. I want to make sure it's feeding freely. And I'm going to put this on the proper orientation, give you guys a little side view there so you can see what's going on. So now I'm going to try to straighten this out as much as possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this in through these wheels. It's going to go through into the Bowden tube and down into the extruder. So that's how this thing feeds the filament in. So I'm going to squeeze these in, run it through, and that was a perfect shot that time. Now, if I come out to the front, what you're going to see when I come out to the front shot here, you're looking, again, right underneath the extruder. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this. I'm going to push through. And I'm waiting for it to hit that hot end, so I'll feel a little pressure. And then it's going to start melting that filament. Let's see here. There it is. So I'm feeling a little bit of pressure, and look at that. It's coming out like toothpaste. Well, really skinny toothpaste. And there we go. And now you've changed colors. If you were running different colors, depending on how clean you got this piece to come out, if you switch to a different color, you might have to run a little bit more through there. That's all you need. So just taking a look real quick and making sure everybody has got their questions answered. I see a few of you on Amazon. Thank you guys. If this is your first time on Amazon watching somebody, go ahead and hit that follow button down there. It's somewhere around there on the Amazon. That really helps me out. And thank you guys. I see you guys clicking on these. So thank you guys that have clicked on the 3D printer to take a look at it. Again, great budget 3D printer, under $180. I think it's almost about $170 right now. I'm just showing you what it looks like when you add in a kilogram of extra PLA here. We're taking a look at the Creality PLA. This stuff prints really, really well with its PLA. Now there's other manufacturers out there. I've bought all of them to test. But now let me show you how this gets started printing. Now I'm not going to re-level the bed, though that's something I like to do right before every print. I'm just going to see how it does. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit this button. We're going to go to print from media. Now I don't know if we're going to get a full print out of this. Let me see if I've got anything in here. There is a rabbit here called a Tuzzy that they include. I'm going to go ahead and print their G-code. So the G-code file is telling the 3D printer what to do. So we're going to watch this thing start up. Then I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to put it into the other location, and then we'll get going on with the show. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in here. I just wanted to double check everybody, make sure you're still on the stream. If you have any questions about this 3D printer, or you have your own 3D printer, let me know what kind of 3D printer you have. And if you've got advice, this is the one thing I love about being a live show. If you've got advice for a new 3D printing person that's coming out there, let me know what it is. We'll put it up here on the lower part here. I got somebody from Jonathan Talks Hardware says, I might buy one. This is one you might want to ask your parents as a gift. The other cool thing about it is very compact. This PLA actually spool slides back in, which is nice. So it gets out of the way. It can be very compact. It is only a single arm, which some people worry about on really tall models, but I haven't had any issues with it as long as you tighten all the screws down. It works really, really well. So Again, my nephew is going to love this one. The only two things to be careful of, again, the hot end down here, it gets very hot at 200 degrees to melt this PLA, so you don't want to touch that. And the bed can be a little bit warm, but it's not going to burn you. And then the other thing is a pinch hazard. So like I said, you know, around the 10, 12, you want to have some adult supervision. 13 and above, I think this is great without adult supervision. So very cool, and good to see you guys here, and print some stuff to modify custom PCs and make them unique. Yes, that is awesome. That's another cool thing that you can do with this. Jonathan Talks Hardware checking in with another great idea on what you can do with one of these. Okay, so what's happening right now is the bed on this is actually warming up. So what I'm going to do, because it's not started printing yet, I'm actually going to do a trick, and I'm going to move this one back over here, and we're going to let it print from back here. So I have to move a couple things out of its way. And we're going to let that thing start printing, and we're going to go on to the next product. So we've looked at two products so far. One is that Creality 3D printer. The next one from Creality as well is their 3D printing filament. That's what we were just checking out. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. So we were checking out their 3D printing filament, which is high quality filament to print out your various models. Thing's out here centering itself right now, getting ready to do that next print. So if you guys want to tune in, maybe we'll have like a 3D print cam back there. I should have thought about this a little more. I could have a camera just watching the 3D printer going to town. I think I might be the first Amazon personality that has done a 3D print on a live. Let me know if you're an Amazon person. Let me know if you've ever seen anybody do that before. The next product I have to show is really, really slick. I've had a ton of fun with this over the last week. And if you follow me on any social media, let me see if I can pull up some social media here just to tease you guys. You'll have seen what I'm talking about here. And it is the next product coming up here, going down. Here we go. Let me see if I can click on this the right way so it opens up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. 1 second. Escape. I gotta learn how to use a computer all over again every time I do this show, it feels like. Here we go. Window. So if you are following me on one of those others, you might have seen this one. I said something is very sus about this barbecue. Sus, for those that are not in the know, suspect, suspicious. This is the next product up, and this is from Techwood. This is a barbecue. And then you're thinking, okay, yeah, barbecue, that's normal. This is a very compact deck, indoor, outdoor, they say, but I would keep it on the outdoors unless you got very good ventilation. Barbecue that makes excellent food. I've done steaks on this. I've done burgers. I've done kebabs last night. So this is exactly what we printed last night. And people are asking, where's the beef? Well, it was chicken. Sorry. Let me see if I've got it down here. I got to show you the reply that is the actual one that I put in here. Did I put in the... I might not have given it away. Okay, so it wasn't on this one. We'll come back to that. But this one actually is electric. It's an electric barbecue. So that's what's tagged in the Amazon right now. I'm going to bring it up on Amazon so you can see it. And then we'll show you how you actually unbox this thing and how you set it up. It's $129 right now, which... for a barbecue, everything's going up these days. I tell you, it's ridiculous. But there is a $20 coupon. So this makes it $109 today. It's a very interesting concept. They basically took the barbecue igniter that you would normally use. They keep it in the barbecue, and they use that to heat and cook your food. It works just like a barbecue after that, and you do have very high precision control for your heat. What I'm looking forward to doing on this is ribs, because you need to go low and super slow for a long time. I think that this thing's going to do fantastic ribs. That's my next one. But I'll show you and tease you with some stuff here that's coming up. So if you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy, and this is the Techwood electric barbecue. Now, I know all the people out there are going, oh my gosh, an electric barbecue. I don't know if I could make the switch. I was not a huge... I've got propane, I've got a smoker, I just got a griddle I was showing you guys. Not a huge fan of electrics until I used this thing. We've used one about 10 years ago, and it did a fantastic job. I hadn't used one since. Let me roll you a clip here, and I'm going to show you just very quickly what that looked like. Here we go. Just grabbing the right one. So this is my little grilling montage. There is no sound, but I'm going to be here with you. So go ahead and make sure you plug it into a good outlet. In my case, I have a GFI outlet out there. If you can't see that, it's 505 degrees on full. And there is a ribeye steak that is being cooked on this. Yes, you can do ribeye steaks. There's burgers. There's tons of room on this thing. I actually was able to get at least 5 burgers on. I could have done more if I really wanted to crowd them. And it cooks just like a regular barbecue. You're getting that Maillard reaction. You're getting that browning of your meat. This is how that steak turned out. I love mine medium rare. And you know what? It's got some browning on the outside. And this was all done on an electric barbecue. I don't think anybody would have expected something like that. Let's talk about cleanup, because it does come apart really easily. And that drip tray underneath does as well. You can actually scrape this down super duper easy here. So I was just scraping it down. My wife was offering commentary, but I had to put it on mute. And it makes it really, really easy to clean your grill and have it ready to go again. So I don't know if they're dishwasher safe, but they might be. Next thing I did was load up these kebabs that I showed you some of those pictures of on social media. And I just did, various kebabs. One thing that you might want to try when you're doing this, they look really cool when you mix veggies and chicken, but it's actually better if you just cook them separately. In this case, I couldn't tell the difference in time. It actually cooked the food, the kebabs, in the same amount of time. I did actually burn them a little. I was surprised. This thing gets really, really hot when you need it. So as I flipped them over here, you'll kind of see. And I was able to fit at least 10 full-size kebabs. We fed, 5 people last night with these 10 kebabs. I got some nice browning on them there, some char. So again, you don't need flame to get a char here. That was actually done just through heat, which was awesome. Had a great time. And there's just a shot of it right at the end. Nobody believes it, but that is a heating element in there. It's kind of like a broiler upside down, but it's broiling your food from the bottom. And so that was from Techwood. Oh gosh, Jonathan checks in. I gotta put that up here on the screen. Let me do that. I have to hit the right button. Jonathan says, I'm a huge steak lover. Yeah, me too, man. I'll have you over for a steak one day. No problem. It says, Pinky is asking about the fire. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he was seeing some of that. Let me show you one other clip. I want to show you how easy this thing is actually to put together. So this is an unboxing of that same Techwood. So I'm going to get that queued up and we will get going. I'm going to show you the unboxing. Here we go. Now this is sped up again, I believe 8 times. It's going to take you about 20 to 30 minutes to put this together. So it's not the easiest thing. I do speed it up a little bit faster. All of the parts for your barbecue come in this size, this area. If you're in an apartment, this thing would be fantastic for apartment dwellers. Apartments are really hard right now. And actually, let me see if I can put myself up on the side. Does that work any better? There we go. I'm over here. I'm on the side. So we're just taking a look at some B-roll here because this is a really big and complicated thing to put together. It only takes, like I said, about 30 minutes. All of the screws are pre-started and they're mostly all wing nuts. I would have liked a little bit of Loctite on some of these because they are going to potentially loosen up over time. They do have lock washers, so make sure you tighten them good and they should hold up really well. There's just a lot of little screws to put in. You're basically building this. And if you've ever built a full-size barbecue, this ain't anything new. Full-size barbecues can be incredibly challenging to put together. So here you go. Almost done. I'm learning how to put that top grate on there, and there are some pictures of the finalized barbecue. And I took some glamour shots outside of it so you could see it in my backyard. Very cool product from Techwood. And again, excellent cooking ability on that. Let me get this back over here. Looking for questions in the chat. Just checking right now, see if anybody has any questions about the Techwood electric barbecue. So that's the next product up. There is another product coming up here, and this one is from a company we know and love. Let me tag it here. It actually is on sale right now, so I don't want you to miss this if you're looking for it. From Edifier. Now, I told Edifier, I've had their speakers and other products before. I said, hey, I'm redoing the studio. Things are changing behind me. As you see, we've got a lot of things going on right now. said I'm going to be redoing my studio and I'm looking for a set of studio monitors. Now, I've always had to buy my monitors used, and I not monitor not like screen, but monitor like speaker, and I'll tell you why those are important. So I was looking for a set of studio quality monitors, and they said, you know what? We've got the Edifier MR4s back here. They're a set of reference monitors. And what is that? So a monitor, when you're listening to audio, and the audiophiles will know all about this, you want it as close to the natural quality that you can get of all the instruments, of all the sounds, of all the vocals. You want it to be dead flat EQ. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about on their website here. Is they have actually got this listed here real quick. I think that I've got the EQ curve up here. Edifier MR4 EQ. I'm just looking real quick to see if I can pull their website up. Yeah, okay. Let me pull that up real quick because I do want to show you again, just for your benefit, what they look like. Here we go. So this is professional calibration dual mode design, which is fantastic. I'll tell you all about that. They come in black or white. Now, they sent me these for free for a fair and honest review. I need to put that out there. But I'm going to be using this for a very long time. Now, when I'm editing my YouTube videos, editing my other quality content that I put out here, I need to know that the audio is, you know, going to be baseline. Now, when you go out and buy speakers, they have what we call a smiley EQ. They make the highs really high, they make the lows really low, but you don't get a natural sound for editing. So when you're editing, you're going to see studio monitors like this in the 3 to 4 inch range. These happen to be 4-inch. There you go. This is what I wanted to show you. This is all we came here for, was that the sound pressure level is almost perfectly flat across the range here. That's a 5 dB range. So excellent, excellent sound reproduction down and below 100 hertz. So they drop off somewhere around the 50 dB range. They're going to start to, you know, they're not a subwoofer. They're not designed for that. But you heard me say dual mode. Now let's talk about what dual mode is, because that was amazing to me. I did not expect that until I started using them. One of the things that I've always had to, let me go past the deep bass driver here. Do they have that? Oh, there's the knob. Okay, so there's 2 different modes on here I want to talk about. So that monitor button down in the lower right corner, if it's red, it's going to be flat EQ. It's going to use that professionally tuned, graded sound quality. If you press it, you can actually switch it to go into music mode, and then the knobs on the back let you adjust the bass and the treble to be your own EQ. So I was able to play games, which is another purpose of the backdrop here, is I can use my gaming machines. I'm able to play games and have the really cool heightened sound of, you know, higher, richer bass and the higher highs. But when I go back to edit my YouTube videos, if you were to edit in that mode, you might flatten things out inappropriately. And then when I produce my master copy of my video, when you put it on your system, then you play it back and it comes back level. So you want to come up with that reference sound. So I can switch between the 2 different modes with a single press, which is really, really cool. That's one of the things that's not found in the Mackeys, the other ones that I had before. I just had to live with it. I had to either do a software EQ or just live with the bass sound. So really happy about these. I am actually going to see if I can pull this one up without unhooking too much, because I want to show you the back of them. And I will show you the unboxing. Actually, that's a great idea. While I do this, I'm going to roll the unboxing clip for you of these, and then you're going to get to see them. Let me know if you've got a set of studio monitors, or if the idea of having both studio monitors and great sounding music speakers, which is what these both are, is an option for you. That would be pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and roll this. Here we go. We're going to do the unboxing of the Edifiers. Here we go. And just to prove to Amazon I'm here, I'm still here, Amazon. That really good-looking guy is going to unbox these Edifier speakers. You can see the backdrop was a little different before. And while he's doing that, I'm going to unplug the power cord from these so I can bring them up and show them up close to you, because they've got some cool stuff that I think you need to see. So there you go. So I'm just unboxing it here, giving you a top-down view. There's the good-looking front of the speakers. We're going to get them around here, and you're going to get to see all about them in a second. There we go. Other cool things about them. Now, these ones do not have a Bluetooth. They do have models with Bluetooth. If that's something that's really important to you, that may be an upgrade. Oh, I love it. Oh, there's some great chat going on. I can't even say it right now because we're in the middle of this. But yeah, so there is the speakers themselves right there. Good looking set. Now, you can decide if you want the black set, which kind of blend in. I wanted the white set because I want them to pop back there with my logo and have a white monitor right now. So I thought I would do that. So there you go. They are going to come with a multiple sets of input cables. They're going to have an actual audio cable. It is a little bit thinner than I'd like in gauge, but again, can't be choosers here. That's the audio cable right there that goes in between them. We are only talking about 20 watts. So 21 watts per speaker, 42 watts total, and the cable is at least 10 feet. So it's going to fit across from your largest rooms, but you're going to want them spaced about arm's length at most in a traditional studio environment. They're going to have an RCA to aux or 3.5 millimeter. The neat thing is, in this case, I ran it all through my monitor, so any device, whether it's an Xbox or it's a PC or my MacBook or anything that goes through my monitor, when I switch my monitor input, my speakers come with it, which is pretty slick because I don't have a KVM yet. So there you go. So I was doing a little Shadow of the Tomb Raider. These things sound really good. I feel bad because I unplugged them, so you won't be able to hear them. And again, it's going to be hard to hear these things, you know, because you're going to just be playing them with your speakers. But let's take a look at them. And this is the single right speaker that I've taken from your left here, what you're looking at. I'm going to go to the top-down view just so I can show you the back side of it. Oh, I don't want to lay it down because I don't want to hurt it. These things are so cool. I just want to show you the inputs that it has here. So it is going to have TRS, so tip ring sleeve is what that is. Gotta put myself up here so you can see I'm still with you. It's going to have TRS, RCA inputs, and they include an RCA to 3.5. This is the adjustment for sound. Now, I might have had a lot of loud music when I was a kid, and so my low bass is a little bit low. You can see I've turned the low bass up when I'm in music mode, which is pretty cool. And then you're going to have your outputs for your other side speaker. Now on the front, let's flip it around real quick. There is going to be your Edifier logo. This is that speaker with that, you know, outside cone and that gasket. It's going to have an auxiliary input up here, which is actually kind of cool. So if I've got a handheld media player, or I've got a device or something with an output that I want to plug in, maybe you're going to do an outdoor movie night or something cool. A lot of those projectors have garbage speakers. You could bring this in here. You can plug a phone in or a PA system. I've got one coming up. Or something else and use that auxiliary input for a phone, for some music. Use this RCA input or the TRS input for your projector, and you guys could watch movies. Volume is super simple to adjust here. Like we said, that little light's going to be red or green. You long press it. If you single tap it here, it is going to switch between those, and if you long press it, it turns the speakers completely off. So that again from Edifier. Let me go ahead and, well, get to the right camera. I'm going to bring both of these out for you, and then I'm going to hook them back up later tonight. So this is from Edifier. These are their MR4s. Excellent, excellent audio quality out of them. Now, you could pair these, and I've seen them sold with a subwoofer. If you wanted that low bass, in some applications that's good. For most of my videos, I don't need the super low bass track. But if you need below 50 hertz, below 100, really well represented, pair these with a subwoofer, and you're going to be good to go. So that was from Edifier. I want to thank the Edifier company for sending these out for a fair and honest review. And we are going to switch over to our next product. I got to put this out there. Not 1.21 gigawatts? No. But I'll tell you, that 21 watts is true RMS power. When I sold computers 25 years ago, I was selling 300 watt speakers that looked just like this, and they had a power supply that was half the rating on this. So it's like it couldn't even put close to this out. But this is true RMS wattage of 21 watts per speaker, 42 watts combined. Great question there. Let me see if I missed anything, because I didn't look at their Amazon page. Let me show you that real quick, because like I said, they are actually on sale right now. I don't want you to miss out on the sale if you're considering a pair of these. So again, 4.5 on 600 reviews, pretty good. This is the white pair that you're looking at right now. That's the ones I've got. And this is what the black pair look at. Identical specs. It's just what you want on your desk. I kind of liked, and I wanted to try this white. Both of them are going to have the domed tweeters there, and then they're going to have the concave speaker. And they're both black on the speakers when they come down to that. It will have a headphone out, which that's another thing I need to point out, which is cool. So if I'm in here editing and it's late at night, my daughter's room's on the other side, my little kid's room's above me, I can't be really rocking out. Or maybe I'm playing a game and I really want to crank it up and I can't crank the audio. They have a headphone out right on the front. I can grab my reference headphones, plug them right into the front, and I can go to town with louder volume late at night. But again, these things are great during the day when I can really blast out. And they are available right now from Amazon for the very low price of $109. They're $20 off, 15% off. And it looks like it says they're a deal. I don't know if they're a lightning deal. It just shows a deal. And hey, thank you for whoever just clicked on them, because I see those clicks now. That's kind of a cool Amazon feature they just added. So kind of neat to see you guys doing that and following along. I'm going to put these down and we're going to grab the next product. Now, unfortunately, I just realized I did not put the box down here for that next product. Okay, so let me pull this up and get it dialed in on the Amazon. So the next product is from the Phytop company. Now, it's actually been in use in this room already. Now, I'm going to see if I can... now, I'm not going to trick you guys, because you guys don't need to be tricked. But I'm going to see if I can do something cool. I'm just going to say, remind me later. And I'm going to see if you can find where this is at in the room. Now, maybe you're saying it. I might have to make it even more obvious here. So I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to go to colors. Right over here is actually a new RGB studio lamp. Again, I've been working on redoing this room. Now, a lot of YouTubers love to have those really cool lamps. This is from Phytop. It is a smart RGB ambient lamp. Now, I don't know exactly how tall it is. I'm 6 feet tall. We're going to go look at the specs on it here. So, it's going to be about a little over 4 maybe from the base. It's bigger than I can have on my desk. That is the white output. But again, like I mentioned, it's actually app controlled. So I can just hit different buttons on my app and I can change it to a purple, a blue. Now, I apologize because my cameras in the studio do not pick up color well. This has got incredible color. So there's the blue, there's a red, there's a green, and you can adjust the brightness down so it's not super bright. This would be kind of cool. I'm thinking Jonathan Talks Hardware. I got to go back to the chat just to see what Jonathan Talks Hardware is saying right now about this thing. But slick looking. Now, the idea of this is that you could either put this forward, or it could just be a light bar. A lot of people... Oh, I just touched the button on the front. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Disco mode. This thing's got a bunch of different modes. So you can hit this button on the front and you can either manually go through the different modes. It's basically an addressable RGB light bar. It does work with the Phytop app, which is also very similar to a lot of the other smart home apps. I think they're using the same interface. So I don't know if you can add those together. If you want, you can turn it back on and off just simply with this. The other thing is it works with voice control. Now I'm going to mute myself for just one quick second while I say her name, but I'm going to tell her to set it to white. Okay, so I just told her to set it to white, and boom, there it is. So like I said, this thing gets bright. You can just see what it's doing to my backdrop. So again, from Phytop, this thing's super easy to put together. I'm going to roll some video right now that's going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I did an unboxing video and stored it for you. So here we go. We're going to get the unboxing of the Phytop rolling, and you get to see what's involved. There's the box. There we go. So pretty straightforward. Now it's going to come in 3 different segments here. It's got a little power supply AC adapter that you run. Now I actually ended up hitting my ceiling a couple times. This thing's so big. And there's the instructions. Very easy to set up. Very easy to sync to your smart thing. I'm already outside the frame on the camera, so I had to put it down there. These 3 segments come together, you plug it in, and that's how bright it is. Now, I played around with this thing for a little while in the studio, tried a couple different locations, tried the different modes that it has. You can synchronize this to music. You could buy 2 of these and you can synchronize them together, so you could actually do some cool stuff around your TV if you're looking for something like that. If you picked it up and it dawned on me, you can use them as a lightsaber prop. Yes, this would be a great lightsaber prop. I've seen quite a few YouTubers, well, it was BMac on Amazon. He's got the angled ones. 2 of these angled would basically recreate his backdrop, and they look amazing. So you can see I tried it in a few different modes here. Maybe I'll just try it over here for a while. Let me talk to her one more time. So I just told her to set this one to blue, and we'll have our blue backdrop over here. I turned the lights off. I was trying a bunch of different things to make it show brighter on the camera, but you get the gist of it. It is a great looking little studio RGB lamp. If you are a YouTuber, considering being a YouTuber, maybe you just want some nice, cool ambient blue light. So there it is right there. Like I said, it is manually controllable, so you can hit your button there. It's got tons of different modes. That looks like a lightning mode. Different brightness levels. You can do all of that with it. Let me go ahead and pull up the app for you guys. I actually do have everything kind of plugged in to where I can show you the app, which is pretty rare, so why don't I do that? And then you can kind of see the controls. And again, very easy to synchronize with your Amazon. So I'm going to bring this. Let's see if I can do it this way. No, I need to do camera 4. Then you can see the lamp at the same time. Man, this is challenging, trying to show lights. I always have a challenge showing lights live, but you know what? I'll turn that light off and you'll get a little bit more of a view. So this is the app itself here. So if I say fireworks at the sea, it's actually going through a bunch of different cool colors. You know, you probably see the light better in reflection there. So it has a lot of these, you know, different modes that it can run into, different pulsings. You can actually go into different festival. Christmas, that's what they think Christmas lights look like. And if you go back out, you can turn it on and off again very simply just through the app interface. And this is also available from all of your standard smart homes. Now you can go through the color card and you can pick the different colors. You can actually change each individual segment up here. So you can draw that kind of stuff. You can erase segments. You can do all of it. So I could actually say I want that segment out, that segment out. Now I'm actually turning the segments off. Unfortunately, not easy to see on here. So I basically turned every other segment off. I'm going to come over to the side, and just because it's so bright, you may not be able to see that. So I basically made every other light on and off on it. So there you go. So you can see how you can basically manually program this to show whatever kind of lighting you want. It is much brighter, I'll tell you, when it's on the white modes. So I think that it does favor really bright lighting. So if you just need a super bright light like this, I should go back to the fronts. So there you go. Or you can change to the blue, which I'm more of a cool color combo in here, so you can see how bright this is. Oh, and did I just, yeah, I turned it back off with the button on the front. So it does have a power button on the front. It is touch sensitive, so you can turn it on and off through that. And like I said, you can adjust the brightness down. If I just wanted this to be a nice fill lamp, I'm getting a little flickering there, so it looks like it's PWM control. So there we go. So if I want to do just a nice little fill lamp, I can put this down in the corner. See if we get that. And there we go. Now I'm filling the back corner of my studio with a little bit of backlighting. So there we go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That is from Phytop. That is their smart RGB lamp. And let me pull it up here on Amazon just so I give them full credit. And we'll get the current price on it as well. So this is the floor lamp. We'll show a couple of theirs. They've got a great deal. I forgot about this. I need to look at the pricing. So it's $95.99 right now. It's $33.60 off if you apply this 35% off coupon. So you can pick up 2 of these for about $120. Again, full control there. You've got timers, you've got smart controls, you've got all those other capabilities here. You can really doll up your place. It is syncable with music, so if you want to make the kids a cool party room, this might be a really good gift for a kid's room if they're looking for some sort of light that can be both a regular ambient light in the room, because it is so bright, but then has these cool color modes if they want to have their friends over. So that's another cool thing. It is rotatable 210 degrees. Now, I don't think you can rotate the individual segments. I never tried, and the way that it connects, I don't think you can. But I think what they're saying is that, so its light circumference is 210 degrees, and they're 51.2 inches tall. So that's another thing if you guys were wondering how tall that was. 51.2 inches tall. Tuya based, I don't know on that, Cosworth. I will have to come back and check. And he says, everybody needs a lightsaber in their corner. Absolutely. Always good to have some extra light in the corner. So I'm going to take a look at our list here. Oh, man. I'm telling you, I have so much cool tech to show you guys these days. I've got one coming up here. I'm going to switch this over to our blue. I'm going to get my blue color back up. And then I'm going to pull up the next product. Now, this next product is from Hohem, 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 and it is the iSteady M6 kit. Well, what is that? It is a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer for your smartphone. Now, Jonathan Talks Hardware, if you're interested in this for your YouTube channel or any YouTubers out there or just any home content creators, this is a fantastic deal. Let me do a quick unbox of it because I did unbox it for you earlier. I want to show you what that looks like real quick just to give it justice of what it looked like brand new. And then I'm going to run through all the features of it. It's going to go quick, but this product is fantastic. Like I said, AI-driven face tracking and other controls for your Android or iPhone. Very, very powerful. I'm going to go ahead and pull this unbox up. It's going to go real fast. And then I'll show you what's inside of it. So I'll talk through it as the guy over there makes everything look pretty. And I'm just opening it up here. It is, again, a 3-axis gimbal for your smartphone. It's got little stickers on it all over showing you what to do. It has a light on it, a high CRI light if you need extra lighting. It also does different RGB modes. That's all separate from your phone and the phone app. It also does have a phone app, though, for iPhone, Android, and others, which gives it even more power and control. Has time-lapsing capability. It is going to have the AI face tracking like I was talking about. And while that guy's pulling it out there, I think I'm going to do it as well. It's going to have standard gimbal, pan tilt controls. It can be mounted to a tripod. That's another super cool feature of this. It is Bluetooth controllable. So if you guys have ever seen the movie The Jackal, just think about that. So you can control this thing with your phone. I'm just looking real quick here. Looking for that. Okay. So I'm loosening it up. Now, I was doing some basic testing with it. I'm going to bring it back over here, and then I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. Now, inside the kit, it's very, very simple. In the box, it's just going to have a nice padded carrying box. But to be honest, this is the first gimbal that came with a padded carrying case. I've had to buy extra cases for my gimbals. Let me see if I can grab, hold on one second. Probably the closest comparison would be one of the DJI gimbals. Now, sorry, I'm just like making my way over here to gimbal land. I have, as a YouTuber, I've got a ton of gimbals. Some I've spent a little on, some I've spent too much on. So here's the competition, and I'm going to show you why this one is so much better than the competition. Now you can judge for yourself size, but these are the other gimbals that I've got in the studio. This one destroys them all. Now I'll show you why here. Here we go. So this is, if you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look at the iSteady M6 gimbal, and I've got to go all the way to their app here. Now, to install it, super duper easy. Let me just show you on the top down. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to put my phone in the jaws. Now, I've kind of leveled things, but I'm going to show you the process for that. See how it's kind of front heavy? I'm going to go ahead and slide it down a little bit. And then turn it. Now it's kind of staying where I want. Now, side to side, it's dead on, but I'm going to mess that up, and I'm going to show it what it would be like. So if this thing's falling to the left, see that? It's kind of falling down towards the left. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this. I'm going to slide it a little bit to the right, and I'm going to tighten it again, and I'm going to let go. Now, it does it, but it's doing it a little slower. So what we're doing is we're basically balancing the gimbal, or centering the gimbal. It's got a little bit that I could go. And what this is going to do is produce buttery smooth footage. Okay, it's ready to go. I'm going to hit this button on the side. Now, it's connected, ready to go. So what it's doing right now is if you're looking on that side, you're the videographer. Check this out. How smooth is that? You're watching your kid's game, you're doing whatever. I am moving my hand all over the place, and that thing's staying the same. Now, I should actually put it into camera mode so you can just see what the camera sees on that side. But yeah, there's my face, and there's me moving. Yeah, maybe grandma shakes a little bit. But yeah, there we go. I've got a smooth camera. Now, if I want to do really cool, buttery smooth pans, I can pan around my studio just like that. If I want to lock onto something, so you can change the mode that this is on. So there's lock mode. If I want to lock onto something, look at that. I can twist my hand all the way around. It's like that chicken with the weird neck. It's going to just stay right on it. So that's one aspect. Now, as a solo YouTuber, I can tell you life is not easy because I tend to find myself, oh, I just put it in inception mode. Check this out. So you can actually have that rotating cool footage where you can rotate around, do that the inception effect, they call it. So I'm going to go ahead and triple click and get back out of that. Get back up. Like I was saying, the boring solo life of a YouTuber. Well, this little tiny top piece on top does a little bit more. Actually, do I have to do the peace sign? I'm going to have to get this figured out. 1 second, because it is so cool. I think I need to turn gesture control on. Yep, gesture control. Okay. Take picture, video mode, single, high five to stop. Okay. So I'm going to give it the OK symbol. You know, that's exactly what happens. Right when you go to demo something, it works. There we go. Okay, now watch this. I'm walking around my studio, mind you. What's the thing doing? So if I actually put this over in the corner and I'm walking around and I just slave this iPhone to my studio switcher, I now have a cameraman, a free camera person here. And it's following me now. It's pretty cool because it actually found me down there. I'm moving around. Now, some of these other gimbals will do that, but you have to use their app. This one is actually using just this little AI module that's on top. Now, the AI module also has an extra light in here. So now, forgive me, I'm going to get it really confused here because, oh, I forgot to tell it to stop. So let's do that. So it automatically figured it out. So I'll do it again. So now it's tracking, but maybe I don't want it to track. Maybe I just want it to look at my sign like that, and I can say stop. Okay, now I can get out of the frame. So that's how cool this thing is. Let's do it again. You're following me? I think you do a peace sign and it actually causes it to start recording video. So if you're getting in position, you don't want to waste footage, and you do the peace sign, that starts and stops your video, gets it going. And then I can say stop. And now it's not going to follow me anymore. So other really cool features like that, like I could spend an hour just talking about it. I'm going to hit the things that are most important to me. And I believe a long press on this side turns that light on. So that's important to me. So let's go ahead and go on this camera just so you can see. None of my other gimbals come from the factory. This one has an option. This is the Zhiyun Smooth 5. Look at the size difference on these. You know, again, this one has the same features, a nice rubberized grip all over this one. This one was honestly more money, I think, and it's even more when you add the add-ons. But take a look at that. I've got my extra light, my fill light, and I can control that along with the brightness of the fill light. Now it's going to be hard to see. Let's go back out here. I can use this wheel to increase and decrease the brightness of this fill light. So I can increase the brightness. Maybe I am running a gimbal for somebody, so I can do that. I can also, let's see, I got to do change the mode. Okay, that can change the color temperature of the fill light. Okay, so there is super blue. There is a super amber color on the fill light, right? Now, there is a way to change also, and this is a thing. So now I'm back to a focus, so I can change it back to a focus wheel. Double tap. I thought it was quad tap. Long press to turn on and off the light. So this is where the manual really helps. What I was going to say is it actually has full RGB range. Now that can work again in combination. So let's see if I can do both of these. I got to do the OK symbol. Okay, there we go. So I can have that light following me, as you see, lighting my face. Let's see if it works on this one. So I can have that light following me, lighting my face, doing all that face tracking while I move around the studio. Look how cool that is. That's a great shot. So this is like an extra photographer in the studio. So like I said, very cool to have. I can see using this in the future. I'd love to have this for my full-size DSLR. This is a DJI Ronin SC2. Very expensive gimbal. Doesn't do what this thing does. Doesn't have that AI tracking built in. You've got to add a bunch of other stuff to it. So I'm super impressed with this. Let's go back and take a look. I'm just going to put this in the corner here for a second. It's still tracking me. I'm going to put that in the corner. We'll let it do its thing, and I'm going to pull up Amazon so you guys can see what other people think about this one, because it is such a cool product. Now, it is available right now on Amazon for $209. There is not a sale on it, unfortunately, right now. I wish there was, but this is the kit. Now, if you don't want the AI tracking and the light, I believe you can get just the M6. Doesn't include that. I would almost guarantee that you're going to use that tracking at some point or need that tracking at some point. Let me go through some of the pictures of it so you can see what it has. So there's the iSteady technology. Let's come back over here. There's the fill light with gesture control. Now again, completely separate. So if you like using the Moment app like I do for recording, I can use the Moment app for recording if I want. There's the iSteady software. The unlimited shooting angles here, so 335 degrees. The other thing that some of these other ones don't do, I'm just bringing this up. I'll bring you guys back in and show you what they mean by this because I want you to see it. I'll bring it up on the side cam. So take a look at this. On this one, I can sit here. Now, I don't have it set to high speed, and I can go in the menus and do that. But I can not only turn 360, I can turn continuous. So if you want to do a really cool footage, maybe you're in like a football stadium or a football game, you could set this thing just to continually rotate and record all of the crowd, multiple passes, and you can do some really slick stuff like that. So very cool. Now again, this is from the Hohem company. This is the M6. Now I haven't even got to the trigger, so you can do a couple things. Like I double tap the trigger there and it's going to go ahead and auto stabilize the gimbal. I can quad tap. And what it's doing now is it's actually getting the gimbal and the balance all perfect because I've taken my phone on and off a couple times. So it's going to automatically calibrate it like that. If I triple tap, let's see if I did that right. Uno, dos, tres. Whoa, it came around on me. Let's do that one more time. Back and forth. So you can go quickly into a portrait mode. Another interesting thing is if I'm doing this and I say, oh, you know, I really need that shot to be portrait. Actually, let me see. Can I do a long press on this one? I have to figure that one out. So there is a way, there we go, to force it into portrait mode. If you hold it long enough, there we go. So if you hold it sideways, you can force it into portrait mode and use it for maybe portrait photography. Maybe you're tic-tacking. I call it tic-tac. Maybe you're tic-tacking and you need something like this. So I can do that real quickly with it. Once you come back, it's going to automatically recenter the gimbal. So lots of really, really cool capabilities on this. Like I said, I'm not going to cover nearly all of it. I'm just going to show you real quick. There's the OLED display that it has there. Again, you have all your standard controls, your pan. On the side, you're going to have your time-lapse A and B in and outputs. You're going to have your scroll wheel here for focus, roll, all your other features. It also has these quarter 20s on it everywhere. So I haven't shown this yet, but if you wanted to add additional lights off to the side, or maybe you want your microphone mounted up here, you can do that. Just make sure you rebalance it all at the end. So Jonathan Talks Hardware says TikTok mode and YouTube mode. There you go. So Green says, barely get into logging, but it does seem useful for home movies. You know, iPhones come a long way on their stabilization, but they really can't stabilize when you're actually doing, you know, they can do side to side. They can do some of these, but take a look at that, man. Just the stability of this thing when you're doing some of this footage. And I don't even have it on the different modes. So I can do, you know, lock mode, POV mode. I can do all sorts of different modes. And the thing to me that the selling point, again, if I bring it up over here, that's this AI on and off. So I can turn the AI tracking on or off and save a little bit, as well as the light. So that's another capability as well. So very cool. I know I've spent way too much time, but when I started playing with this thing, I'm like, This is going to be a game changer for my footage because I can just do a quick, simple OK, hopefully. There we go. And now I've got a camera buddy to help me take photos and take video in my studio. So if I could do this for live shooting, this would be awesome. I'd love to have 2 of those and just be able to switch between them whenever. I can't tell you how valuable that is. So AI face tracking on this one. And then again, available for $209 right now, $159 if you don't want to have the AI tracking. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to be really sad because it's such a cool product. And it does come with a USB-C charging cable as well as a USB-C to USB-C for you Android guys. And what that allows you to do is there's a little output here. So there's a little output there. You can actually be charging your phone while it's in the cradle taking video. So that's another cool feature, or any other USB-C accessories. And then it does have the USB-C input on the side. So there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit because we got some other products coming, and I just grabbed all of my gimbals because I was so excited to show you. I have spent hundreds, if not thousands, on gimbals, and that little gimbal right there for $209 does a fantastic job. Let me try to put these up because they are also very delicate and very expensive, so I don't want them to fall. We'll leave this one out here. This one is actually for... You can see that one. That is actually for GoPros only. So that's, you kind of have to have one of each, it seems, these days. So that's the different styles. I'm going to put this out of the way and we'll get moving right along. Okay. Wireless transmitter. Give me 1 second to get set up and moved, and we will take a look at this next product. Awesome. So this next product is a wireless 1080p HDMI transmitter and receiver from Amiibo. Now, it's spelled AIMBIO. Unfortunately, that didn't look up on Amazon. I am going to start it on the carousel for you guys so you can pull it up if you want. Now, I already had some conversation, it looks like, with some of my other creator friends on here and people that use these kind of techs. But these things are incredibly useful. I can tell you, I do some church IT tech stuff, and we always need to be able to send video, take video, bring it back and forth. I have these hooked up in the studio, so I'm going to give you a live demonstration of it. I hope everything goes really well. Now, again, there's many different use cases for this. There is a transmitter here. I'm going to bring this in the top down so you can see it. And hopefully I don't drop that cable. And this is the receiver that you get. That's all you need. Now, it is going to have a little bit of an HDMI extender here. Give me 1 second to pull this off. That is going to come in the box, and it's going to come with 2 of these USB-A to USB-C cables. So that's what you're going to get in the box. You're going to get a manual. Now, it says it uses the 5 gigahertz band. Now, hopefully, you guys hear me okay while this is running, because this does 2.4 or 5 gigahertz, whatever it finds interference on, it's going to switch. Great manual. It's going to tell you all the features about it, how to pair it. Now, I read in here that you could have up to 8 different transmitters or receivers. The way it was written, it wasn't very clear. Now, I could see a benefit of being able to transmit to 8 different things. I could also see the ability to send from 8 different things as being really useful. So if anybody finds that in the specs, that will be awesome. So what we're going to do, each one of these is labeled. I'm going to take the TX. I'm going to do a live demonstration. Now, again, don't know how all this is going to work because this is actually my Lumix GH5. I shoot a lot of B-roll footage with this one, and I'm going to give you a little tour of my studio a la HDMI transmit and receive. Now, I'm going to hope that my little USB-C, so these use one USB-C power input. I'm actually wondering, because my camera has a USB-C, if I could actually use my camera's USB-C. Now, what's going to happen when you plug this in, I'm just going to switch over here so you can see it. I'm in the corner now. I'm going to plug it into my 4th camera input. And it should say plug and play. So what is it telling me to do? It says plug this into your other device. So it has on-screen instructions. Really simple, easy to use. Put it into your device. Now what's interesting is it's going to do all of its pairing. And boom, you're ready to go. So check that out. We're live. Now there's a little bit of a delay, and that's expected. Now, if you're using HDMI and the audio pass-through, it's going to be perfectly in sync. In my case, if this was OBS, I might add a little delay to this camera. But look at the quality on that. That is full 1080 on here. It's a little shaky, but that's just me. Now, do you guys want to see what you guys look like on the other side there? I've got a picture and a picture. I actually do keep a listing of what's going on. I've just bumped it out. See, that's just me. Click on start. So I got to click the start button. Sorry, I got to get this like in line here because I totally bumped that out while I was doing that. Now, this will work on PCs or cameras or gaming devices. So if you wanted to have wireless, now I can't tell you how valuable it would be for me to have a crowd cam at my church, that if we're doing some cool event or a baptism, I could run down to the front, have this receiver back in our switcher, and have somebody just walk around with a camera, because the HDMI transmitters are super expensive normally. My little tiny studio, I'm giving you this like tour. You can see it's live. I'm definitely doing it. You know what I was going to use this for? Give you a quick update on how our 3D print is looking. Now we are printing out live. Got a camera there. We're printing out a little rabbit on the 3D printer. So we set this thing up earlier. We changed the filament. We're doing a quick filament test on it. And I'm showing you guys this all over the HDMI transmitter right here from the Amiibo company. Amiibo company? There we go. So just wanted to show you that real quick. Now, how can you use this? Well, PCs are another great use of it. So if I want to duplicate my PC screen that I have back here, I could plug this in. Now you're saying, well, what about Miracast, AirPlay, all these other things? That's great if it supports it. Maybe you've got an older PC that doesn't support Miracast. Maybe you've got, like I do over here. Let me see if this will actually work. I've never tried this, but I do have an HDMI. I buy my laptops specifically with HDMI ports. You know what? I'm not going to be able to reach this one because it's too down in there. But you could use this with any sort of laptop or device that has an HDMI port. Video game consoles, that would be another thing. Portable screens, tablets, other things like that would be really cool, as long as they have an HDMI output. And let me see if this will even work, because I was playing around with this earlier, and I think it worked for a little bit. Let me see if I can bring this app up real quick. I'm going to go on the fourth side here. So now I'm going to plug this into my iPhone. I have to unplug the power because this dongle doesn't fit. And then I have to click start. That's doing a little negotiation. And guess what? Now I'm streaming my iPhone. There's a little tiny bit of a delay, but there you go. So now you can see all the different apps that I have. I have a ton of apps for different testing and whatnot. So I'm actually streaming live my iPhone, not using AirPlay. So this is not going to get around your other requirements. I'm streaming my iPhone because I'm able to use the standard Apple adapter. So if Netflix isn't going to let you stream it, it's not going to let you stream it. But I just wanted to show you the utility of that. So I don't have to be tied down to this. Now I do need to power this with some USB-C power. I can do that with a power brick. There's tons of power bricks that can handle this. And like I said, I did a little bit of a demo earlier with this camera to show you guys how that works. So I plug it into the camera, switch over to the fourth input. Now it has me click start, it says, to sync up. Well, there you go. Now I can give you guys finally that studio tour I've always wanted to give you. So there's all of the different webcams I've tested recently. And you can see all of the different craziness that's going on in the studio just with that. Now again, PC, gaming machines, all of that would be really, really cool. And we got Green coming in here, said it could be nice for duplicating your gaming PC on multiple displays for little couch gaming action. Now, that's where the delay comes in. This says, and let me get through the specs because I want to give them to you what they tell me. I did not come down and test all of this. They said it is 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I'm going to try to see if they actually have the tech specs on here on how to repair. But they actually, we're going to have to go to their website to get these things. But it's supposed to be very, very low latency, like 0.1 second. Now, 0.1 second is 100 milliseconds. So for gaming, sometimes that can be a big deal breaker, but could be very good. Jonathan checks in. Maybe I want to connect my laptop to TV for streaming my movies without tripping my siblings. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. And it's coming down here, says maybe 15 to 30 milliseconds if it's really running to true 5 gigahertz. And so we'll go back here to the Amazon page for it real quick, just so I can show you guys exactly what you're getting here. Now, these things are not generally cheap, and I would not recommend even looking for cheap ones because generally they don't work. I'm going to test these things out a little bit more thoroughly with my church. Like I said, I do church IT and tech. I do want to have one of these as just almost a baptismal camera. So if we're doing a baptism, somebody can walk up and get a little bit closer and just help record that for the family and the viewers at home because we do live stream our church service. So neat thing about this, like it says, it does have RXs that you can get. It does have transmitters that you can buy, and it has the combination, which is actually the cheapest deal at $129. For getting both sides of this and something, if it gives you a reliable, stable connection, it has 4.5 stars on 20 ratings so far. Let's take a look at this. Truly plug and play, 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah, you saw how fast it connected here live on the show. That's exactly what they expect. That's what they're talking about here. You know, you need to have apps or stuff with other people's. You can definitely use that 5 gigahertz, and it is saying 0.1 milliseconds latency, so it might be tough for gaming, but definitely works. I was trying to find the different modes that you have here. So you've got mirroring and extend mode. I could see this working in a corporate environment to be like, you know, sitting on the desk and you say, just plug this into your laptop and you can essentially walk around. You can power it with the USB-C off your laptop and you can walk around and be giving a presentation or your tablet or whatever makes you feel comfortable, and you can present on a bigger screen behind you. So there it goes, exactly. Now, what's interesting here is this is where I saw that question about the number of transmitters to a receiver. So you can pair up to 8 different transmitters to one receiver. So if you had one massive screen and you had a bunch of nerds like in this picture that want to connect to it for some reason and show something, or you just had multiple devices that you want to be able to rotate in between, you can rotate between your devices that way, which is pretty slick. So you can buy additional ones. This is what you get in the box. Pretty straightforward. 1 RX, 1 TX on the combo package, plus 2 cables. Little bit sad they didn't include an AC adapter, but with all the international adapters and the e-waste that's out there, I can understand it. It would also maybe have been nice to have a USB-C to USB-C so I could plug this right into my camera, which has a USB-C power in and out, or on some phones where they have that capability would be also nice as well. But I understand you're trying to make this for the most common denominator there. So again, this is from MPIO Life. This is their wireless HDMI transmitter. There's some other information. 164 feet, 50 meter wireless range. Now, I don't know if you get towards the end of that range, if it just starts clipping or looking really bad. It's a digital signal, so it might. But I will definitely test those in the future. I want to thank this company again for sending this out for a fair and honest review. That's what I'm going to give them. And we're going to come back in here to the studio, and we're going to switch over to the next product. Now, I kind of got in trouble a little bit the other day with one of the products, and not in like major legal trouble or anything, but only with my wife, because she's like, that Rhinestone Cowboy you did the other day, actually it was Thunder Rolls by Garth Brooks, was probably the worst she's ever heard. So I just happen to have another karaoke machine. I know. I have another karaoke machine, but let's call this a public address system, and then we'll use it that way. How's that? We'll switch over here to the other camera so I can pull this thing up. This one's from HeartC, and I'll do the intro again here so you can see it when I get it all up there. Okay. So this is the HS6 from the HeartC company. It is a super compact, portable karaoke system. Now, this is not going to make me an amazing singer, so don't expect anything like that. But what I am going to do is show you all the cool features that are inside of it, why I am going to keep this one and be using this out in our RV, maybe at our church functions, other events, because I think this is so cool. It is one of the coolest things. I'm going to go on the top down, so you can kind of see what controls it has. I wish I could dial that in a little bit tighter. But so there's the control panel for it right there. Very, very easy to use. Now, it does have Bluetooth capability. It has a built-in battery. I think it's got a couple of hours of battery life. But you can plug this thing in and have it run full time here. So there's the volume control. It does have a knob here. And actually, technically, I should do it this way so you guys can see what it says. But there's volume control. There's a guitar input. So if you're, you know, Mr. Cool, you got the guitar, you're going to be serenading, you're by the campfire. Hello, hello. There we go. You can just adjust the volume here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn my microphone off and the outer microphone on. Let me know if you guys can hear that still in the chat. I know. I promised you no more karaoke, but I lied. So you have bass and treble control. You have an echo. So this is an echo delay. So you've got that built-in echo capability. You do have 2 microphones and convenient carrying slots here. So I'm just going to check the chat, make sure I'm still getting audio to you guys. I can see it on the monitor up there. I don't know if it's actually recording properly down there for you guys. But again, yeah, this is from the HeartC company, a very cool HS6 portable karaoke system. Now, I do need some music to play karaoke, but unfortunately, I can't play copyrighted music anymore. Give me 1 second. Now, let me go back to this audio. Okay, I'm back on my headset audio, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay on this. Why I think this device is really cool. So it's got a lot of capability. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my copyright-free audio from Artlist. This is artlist.io. I have a license for all of this audio that I pay good money for. And we're just going to see if I can play some music. Oh, there's a new song. Okay, I'm talking over it now. So I'm playing some audio through it. Now, what you would normally do, I could turn down that volume separately. You notice my audio volumes there? I can bring the music up. So the nice thing about this is I'm singing, talking over this song, whatever it is. Bring the next one up. So I can do that. Now I can have this shown on a screen projector somewhere, big activity event. There we go. So I can have my beat, have my beatboxing going on in the background. I can have 2 people talking with this, and guess what? If I don't want that background music, I can switch right over to this, and I can use both these microphones and use it just as a big public address system for the public. So if you're doing a little backyard event, maybe you need a speaker and maybe you need a couple microphones. This comes with everything you need. Another interesting thing is it came with 4 batteries for the microphones, so all the batteries you need for the microphones. It also does have a remote, so maybe you need to turn it up or down and you're in the back and you don't want to be running up and fiddling with this if somebody's doing an acoustic set. You can actually adjust that right here with the included remote control. It does have different cable connections. It's got the charger. Now I charged this up last night, so it's fine. Red would be that it's charging. Blue, it was actually green when it's full. So that's what that changes to. But a very cool feature, separate guitar volume, and guess what? It has the ability to pause and play your Bluetooth right from here. So if your person's up there and says, no, I want to start the next track, I need to hit pause for a second, you can physically hit pause on it. So again, very much like a guitar amplifier, has that built-in guitar amp. It does have a separate TRS mic in if you want to input this thing with something, and I believe this is a line output. I wasn't able to test that. Other couple cool things that it has is if you're doing an amazing job at karaoke for some reason, I'm not. If you're doing an amazing job for karaoke and you want to record this, you have TF for micro SD storage. So you can put a micro SD card in there, hit record, and now you can become famous. So this is your American Idol audition. But like I said, you can just go down. Oh, there's some Rex Banner. I use him a lot of my videos. Oh my gosh. This is Boogie Nights? No. This is Boogie music. Rex Banner, everyone. And welcome up on the main stage. I can't do this. No, I can't. But this is a karaoke machine. Like I said, I'm using it right now. You're probably getting a weird echo. Maybe the lips don't match up. I'm going to switch off of that, and I'm going to go back here just to give you guys, my normal audio. This obviously sounds better because it's a studio headset and a bunch of different audio. But from the different kinds of systems that you can get, this one is probably the most compact. I don't have the exact wattage, but we'll look at that. Really easy to carry. I'm thinking if you're looking for a gift for someone that's maybe in the 12 to 25 range, right? That's like the prime karaoke years. This could be really cool. It would also be cool if you got an aspiring musician that does guitar maybe, or maybe just needs an amplifier. Pretty slick. I love this. So very cool system from HeartC. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on Amazon. We're going to look a little bit more about it. And I think this one is another one that's on a great sale right now. So if you're looking for maybe some gifts in April here. So yeah, this one is $179 right now, but there's that green checkbox, which I got to point you to, $50 off coupon, which is pretty slick. It does come with all those things that I showed you already. It's going to have the different cables. It's going to have 3-inch mid-range woofer and a 5-inch sub. You got to be kidding me. I got to look now. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if this thing is actually waterproof, but it definitely does have a good sound. It does sound good like a Bluetooth speaker. So this is going to be your, indoor-outdoor Bluetooth speaker as well. And so even if you just use it for that, that's great. 5 hours of battery life. That's what I was worrying about. And it can charge while you're using it. So that's another great thing. 7.5 pounds. That's only 2 pounds more than my MacBook. So the whole thing, 7.5 pounds, you can go take this to any sort of event. A lot of times you just want to do something. Maybe it's at a friend's house. Maybe it's a small get-together venue, but you need, or somebody needs amplification when they're talking. I don't. But if you do that, this is something you could bring very easily. Or maybe like we were talking about, you want to amplify that outdoor projector that you're using. Maybe you're running on battery. This is a battery powered speaker, so you can use that as well and wire it directly in, because maybe your projector does not have wiring for that. So very cool features. That was again from the HeartC company. Want to thank them for sending it out for a fair and honest review and a mediocre demo, but maybe, just maybe, if I can talk Uncle Rusty, hopefully you're on Facebook watching, he is a karaoke dynamo. That guy, everybody knows him for his karaoke. I was wanting to have him on here. I couldn't figure out how to do the licensing with Amazon. But if you want us to do a non-monetized karaoke night, Rusty would be amazing. So I would love to let you guys experience that. But again, from the HeartC company, I want to thank them for sending that out. It's pretty good value here, $129 if you take that $50 off right now. We do have 2 more products that I'm going to show you tonight. I'm going to get this one out of the way just so I can show you the other ones. Okay, last 2 products. So now Ugreen, there we go. So Ugreen has been sending me quite a few products to check out lately, and I'm super happy about that because honestly, I was a Ugreen customer even before, and I was showing you some of their stuff before they reached out to contact me. So this is from Ugreen, and it's something that everybody needs if you're in IT or tech. What is it? Let's take a look up close. NVMe M.2 enclosure. This is probably one of the highest quality external enclosures. Now I have a bag of these I could go to from various different manufacturers, and they're all just a little bit different and all not quite there. A lot of them require special tools, and those tools get lost, or little tiny screws, and those little tiny screws get lost. Let me show you what this one looks like and what you get with it. Now they all come nicely packaged. I had to unbox them here to show you what they look like. Let's get that dialed in. Okay, so what do you get in the box? You're going to get the standard instruction manual. You're going to get the actual enclosure itself. Now, this is metal with a rubberized outside, and this alone would fit in your bag. Now, if you're like me and you want to start minimizing the number of cables you carry, it has a standard USB-C to USB-C cable that comes with it. So if you have one for your Mac or other device already, you can skip this cable and you could just bring this thing. And again, about the size of the palm of my hand, here. So when you plug this into your MacBook, you're going to be able to access what's ever on the storage. Now, I use these for data recovery, data backup. The sky is the limit on these. And theoretically, as it says down here, the maximum of USB 3.2 Gen 2 support is 10 gigabits. So you should get up to 10 gigabits. Again, your SSD may vary. I actually record the show right now is recording to an NVMe SSD for portable, and those ones cost a lot more. So what's cool about this is you can buy a traditional NVMe SSD here. So all I did to get this out, I just push on the bottom, right? So it has this little retention. Let me show you how that works a lot easier. So you push it in, it's not going to come out. Your super expensive drive isn't going to come out. All you got to do is push on this bottom. Now it comes out. Now to install your NVMe drive, what do those NVMe drives look like? Well, I just happen to have a couple I bought today. There's a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte. So you can take this 2 terabyte internal drive, maybe it came out of a computer, maybe you're just using it for temporary storage, maybe you need to copy some stuff, cut this out of here, put that in, and then notch it down. Now, I'm going to show you the installation, but I'm going to show it to you a little bit wrong, so don't follow this, but it's the only extra NVMe that I had that was unboxed right now. And that is this 2280. Now, this is what you should not do. So this one, you notice how it has 2 notches in the gold strips? This will not work, even though this fits in here. This will not work with SATA drives. So this is a SATA NVMe. It needs to be an M.2, I believe it's called a B key, so it has that. Only has 1 notch on it instead of 2. So if you have 2, this isn't going to work for you. But what I'm saying is when you install this, this is actually really easy to install. You take this little tiny plug out. So a completely tool-free design. You put your SATA drive in, pretend that's a SATA NVMe. And actually, sorry, you don't even need to take this out. I skipped 1 step forward. When it comes, you have a couple of these. You can adjust this to whatever depth you need. And you can set it in one time because it actually rotates. The guys were really smart when they set this up. The guy that is demoing it is not smart. Let me go ahead and push this back in where it's supposed to go. Let's see if I can get that in the right way. So what's cool about this is once you get it installed, there we go, we got it the right way this time. So once you get that installed, it's actually a completely tool-free design. So you push this in, you slide your drive down, and you just turn this locking lever around. So now it's going to be harder to see, but all I did is just turn that around to hold the drive in, and now I just take it, and I got to see if there's inside. I don't think it matters. Oh, looks like it goes down that direction. That way. Okay. So retention, can't see anything. You plug this in, you plug this into your computer. You got that 10 gigabits maximum read-write rate. These things are incredibly fast. When you want to release it, push on the back, super easy. Turn that little knob, pull this out. Bob's your uncle, you're ready to go. So another cool product from Ugreen, very easy to use and very important to have if you're doing any sort of IT work. I'm looking in the chat just to see in there. Jonathan Talks Hardware says, SATA. Yeah, SATA, potato. So this one just happens to be a SATA M.2, drive, but you need an NVMe drive. You need the 2280 and the PCI Express. So this is a SATA interface one. It just has the same interface. I don't know why they did that. Probably just to confuse everybody. But that's from Ugreen. Now, it is going to have 2 different cables. I was really kind of happy about this. So normally, on a lot of these, just to save money, they include a USB-C to USB-C cable, and they include some dinky little adapter that never works right. This actually has a blue-ended USB-C to USB-A type 3, that blue USB 3 connector, which is awesome. Now, one extra thing that they included, and I wasn't quite sure about this one, but I wanted to show it to you. They include another little rubber standoff if you did lose that one for some reason. So that's a fresh one there. But they include this, and this is not a stick of gum. This is not a stick of gum. It is actually an insulator. I did have to go to the manual, which is complete. If we go into the manual, what it talks about is to use that. Now, if you're going to be using this constantly, putting drives in and out of systems and using this, I would not install this heat spreader, but this is basically thermal interface material, and it's designed to take the heat off of your SSD and put it into the metal. Again, this is a metal housing, so that's going to help dissipate heat. So it says to strip off both sides, put that in there on top, and then it'll stick to the top of this eventually. And that was their goal. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys. This is from the Ugreen company. And it is an M.2 NVMe enclosure for portable use. And like I said, I'm recording right now on a couple of these from a different brand, and they are a lot more expensive, and they're not replaceable. So when the drive goes bad, they're done. So if you're just looking at it from a perspective where I can replace the drive that's in here, this would be really cool to have a bank of these for doing data transfer. A lot of times, you know, and again, if American's still with us, he's always giving me a hard time about not going to 10 gigabit networking. If I could take one of these and run over, excuse me, if I could take one of these and run over to my backup server, I could copy files a lot faster from my backup server directly onto an NVMe and then bring it to another one. So that sneaker net connection is still valid and still faster in some ways. Give me 1 second. We are on to the final product in our show today. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking by. I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing up. And I am going to bring up the full installer for it, just so I can give it a really good showing here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go out and grab my installation rig. Okay. Maverick, my littlest, decided to break into the studio the other day, so now I lock the door as it's supposed to be normally. So if you guys have been here before, you've seen this rig. And this is my smart home testing power rig. Let's do one thing to it. I need to do an upgrade. Just trying to find the right size. Let's see, right about there. Okay. All the way through. Let's say we have a smart doorbell. Oh, you know, something like this smart doorbell. I'm going to go ahead and get it started to install over here. The next product is really going to help us out with that. So when you get these smart doorbells, a lot of times they're battery powered, like this one just happens to be, but you may or may not have permanent power at your location. Now, the batteries that come with this, in this case a Blink one, can be very expensive. So these are lithium energizer batteries. They include a set, but once they're gone, these things cost about as much as the camera itself, it seems. So the next product that we have is actually a C-wire adapter, it's called. It's right here. I'm going to bring it on the top down for you guys. So this adapter is a 24-volt AC adapter kit. Now it's going to come with the adapter, and I'm just looking to see if I have the other piece for it. Yep. Comes in this little box. It's going to have these little clips in case you need to run it along some baseboards or around a ceiling, around a door or something. But let's say your doorbell is unfortunately not an electric powered doorbell. What you can do, and we'll talk about furnaces in just another second, is you can take a little tiny hole through your outside drywall. Now I've got this cord and I'm running it through, right? And I can go ahead to the back of my terminals on my Blink camera. And I'm going to go ahead and just wire this to those back terminals. So what this is going to allow this to do is provide 24 volts of power to those terminals. This is awesome. I'm getting messages over here from some other brands that are watching. They're like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you want to add this to the show? I love it. So again, I can go ahead and install this on my, assume this was an outdoor door, right? I just want to do this in a way that I can screw it in and show you guys cleanly. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this in. Now what I would normally do is I would find an outlet near the door or near wherever I was going to use this. Now this also, the same installation method, can work if you have a furnace that doesn't have what we call a C-wire. So if you have a Wise thermostat or other thermostat, hopefully I didn't say thermostat. Hopefully you have a thermostat that doesn't have power to it. You can't run those really fancy smart controls, right? This one will do both, whether it's a smart doorbell or smart control. Let me go ahead and turn this around and show you what I'm doing on the other side. I'm trying not to lick these wires. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. The power is off on this unit, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I would run this wherever those wires need to go. And I've had them, again, super clean install here, right? You don't normally see the wires, but I just happen to have them looped through. I'm going to go ahead and plug this into some power so I can show you how it works. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now this is my Blink doorbell here. So if I hit it, it's actually going to cause my phone to ring. What I'm going to show you here is if I just slide that down, There's my doorbell. Let's see if I got my doorbell alert. Just looking real fast. I'm going to go to my Blink app. Let me check if my Blink app is actually registered on this device, because that would be kind of cool. It is. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick on this app screen. Then I can show you the actual app, how this works. So what this is going to do is it's going to make you have basically unlimited power for your smart doorbell or smart device. And the beauty of that is you're not going to waste any batteries. So those lithium-ion batteries then become just for backup use. So I'm just looking here, Blink floodlight, sync module, front doorbell. Okay, so I'm going to go into my front doorbell. It's connecting right now. It's probably going to create some sort of audio loop. Just expecting that now. So hopefully this will work here. And we'll go to the front doorbell. Okay, so it's connecting to my front doorbell, or what it thinks is my front doorbell now. It's been a while since I've used this device, so we're going to see if it works. I'm going to go into the live view in progress. Okay, it's still trying to bring it up here. The goal of this is I want to be able to show you that this is actually providing power. So, okay, you can see me on there. You can see the studio. It's going to have a little delay. Let me go into the settings, device settings, general settings, external power OK. Do you see that where it says external power OK? What that means is that this is now receiving external power. So it's a power supply for your smart devices. I'm going to turn this back around. So again, I just punched a simple hole right during our show through there. I would hide this wherever I want. You don't have to have exposed walls. You can run this along your trim and then maybe just come out right where your doorbell is. Go find a nice weather protected outlet to plug this in. And now you have complete control over that doorbell because you're going to have unlimited power. So if you've got some of the Wise doorbells or the Blinks, they won't continuously record or do any of their cool advanced features unless you have their power connected. Now maybe you have a transformer that's an older style transformer in your home. I'm just trying to get myself in view of the doorbell here for you guys. So maybe you have an older style transformer in your home and it doesn't provide enough voltage for your smart doorbell or your furnace. You can actually, again, just like I showed here, use this very cool AC adapter, this 24 volt, and wire it right to whatever that doorbell or other device is. So let me pull that up on Amazon and we'll make sure that you guys can see where to get that. We'll take a look at the reviews and maybe some of the pictures of how else they've used that. So there we go. So this is the C-Wire here. It is for Honeywell, Ecobee, Emerson, Sensi, Wise, Blink, anything you want it to be that uses a 24 volt system, which is pretty much all of them. They're showing a nice Nest thermostat here. So a Nest is another one that you might need to power without a C-Wire. So all of these ones will work with it. And then what you're looking at is that the device power, the RC and C, are going to come from the adapter. That's the important thing, is the RC and C come from the adapter, and then whatever your request for heat or cool or all that other stuff, that goes down to your furnace. So this provides that. This is compared to some of the other adapters on the market. They're not strong enough. You want that 24 volts. This is going to have a 23-foot cable, so it's one of the longest cables I've seen on any of these devices. And it's going to include clips. So these little tiny white clips, you wouldn't believe how convenient that is. You don't have to buy another thing to go with it. So I'll just show you here on the side camera. So this little bag of white clips is very useful because that lets you hide that. And then it is UL certified. That's another interesting thing. You're going to see a lot of these that are not UL certified. They're going to be ETL certified. So if this actually has gone through the UL certification, and I'm just double checking, this is UL listed. So your home insurance is going to love you for that. Let me pull this down here so you guys can see that. I got to turn this one off. 1 second. So I just want to show you because that's important. You see that UL listing on the back? Now, this has gone out of favor, sadly, but that's super important because UL listed products are definitely a lot higher quality from an electronics perspective and a lot more sought after if they have that UL listing. So that's another nice thing to see compared to some of the other products that might be a buck or two cheaper out there. So again, that is going to be your C-wire transformer for your smart doorbell or your smart HVAC systems. This has been John the Net Guy. I'm going to go ahead and take a look one more time at the chats. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in this week. We had a great show. I am super happy to have been here and get to show you this cool tech. I got the coolest job on YouTube and Amazon right now because I do get to bring you guys cool tech like this. I want to thank all of the brands that checked in with us tonight. It's not quite done, but hopefully you guys can kind of see what's going on here. You know what I can do? I won't mess this print up, but I am going to show you a feature. We're going to go back over to the Creality page just because I want to show you this. I am in talks with Creality about bringing you guys some other printers. So if you guys are watching from Creality, happy to demo more of your great stuff. So this is one thing that a lot of other 3D printers can't do that I'm super happy this one can do. So I did just pause it. Now let's say I saw that my filament was going to run out. Give me 1 second not to break anything in here. So let's say I saw my filament was about to run out. I'm 2 hours into a print and I don't want it to fail. I can pick this unit up. I can move it out here in front for you guys to see. I'm going to bring this forward. I'm going to bring this camera way forward just so you guys can see what has been printing here. Let's see if I can get that going. That is our little tiny rabbit. 3D printing is not the fastest thing in the world, but it is fun. And there is the top of it. You can kind of see the ears if you look straight down there and how the honeycomb went. I'm going to go over to the side camera here. Maybe you get a better shot. I need to get that side camera zoomed in more next time, just so you guys can see that. Ta-da! I want you guys to see. Again, that's the magic of 3D printing. So this bunny did not exist at the start of the show. Now this bunny exists. The other cool thing about this printer compared to the other ones is you can resume printing. Now, you may need to pull that little tiny strand out of the way, especially if any sort of the filaments. Now that may create an imperfection. You don't want to do that all the time. But again, I've restarted 3D printing here, and you guys are getting to see this. So I'm going to let this thing go and continue 3D printing. I want to thank all of you guys for checking in. I'm usually here Tuesdays, but every once in a while, as you saw, I throw a Friday show in. This has been Tech Day Live number 7. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys all for checking in. Don't forget to follow on Amazon, and I will catch you guys in the next one.